Imagine waking up tomorrow in a world where time doesn't exist. Not because it stopped. Because nobody has invented it yet. No hours. No minutes. No deadlines. No, I'll be there at 3 p.m. For almost all of human history, this was normal. Your ancestors lived for hundreds of thousands of years without knowing what time it was. And strangely enough, they survived just fine. In fact, they may have understood time better than we do. Today, your entire life is controlled by clocks.
You wake up because an alarm says 6:30. You eat lunch at 1 a.m. You start work at 9. You go to bed because the clock says it's late. But clocks are incredibly new. Mechanical clocks only became common in Europe around 700 years ago. For more than 99% of human existence, people never knew the exact time. So how did they organize their lives? The answer begins with the sky. Long before calendars and wristwatches, humans looked up. The rising sun meant one thing. The position of shadows meant another. The color of the evening sky meant something else entirely altogether. Time wasn't measured. It was observed. A hunter didn't say, "I'll return at 5 p.m.
He said, "I'll return when the sun reaches the top of that hill." A farmer didn't schedule work for 8 hours. He worked until the light disappeared. Life moved with nature, not numbers. And this changed the way people experienced reality. Today, if someone is 5 minutes late, we become irritated. Ancient humans would have found this obsession completely bizarre.
Because to them, time wasn't a resource. It was a cycle. Every day followed the same rhythm. Sunrise, work, sunset, rest. Season after season, year after year. But something fascinating happened when the first cities appeared. Around 5,000 years ago, populations exploded. Thousands of people suddenly
needed to coordinate with one another. And nature wasn't precise enough anymore. You couldn't run a city by saying, "Meet me when the shadow is kind of over there." Civilization needed accuracy. So humans began creating the first clocks. The earliest weren't mechanical. They were shadows, sundials, a stick in the ground, nothing more. Yet for the first time in history, people could divide the day into measurable pieces.
The idea seems harmless, but it changed humanity forever. Because once you can measure something, you can control it. Kings could schedule labor. Merchants could schedule trade. Armies could coordinate attacks. Time became power. Then came church bells. For centuries, most Europeans didn't own clocks. Instead, giant bells told entire towns when to wake, work, pray, eat, and sleep. Imagine that. Your entire day controlled by a sound echoing through the streets. And then came the Industrial Revolution. This is where everything changed. Factories didn't care about sunrise. Machines didn't care about seasons. Workers had to arrive at exactly the same moment.
For the first time in history, being late became a problem. Not because nature demanded it, because machines did. Entire societies reorganized around the clock. Children learned punctuality. Workers sold hours instead of labor. Railroads standardized time zones. Suddenly, every minute mattered. And today, many people check the time over 100 times per day. Think about that. A device humans invented now controls nearly every decision we make. But here's the strange part. Your body still doesn't understand clocks. Inside your brain is an ancient biological system called the circadian rhythm. It doesn't care whether it's 8:17 p.m. It only cares about light and darkness. The same signals your ancestors followed for hundreds of thousands of years, which means a part of you is still living in the prehistoric world. A part of you still measures time the way humans always did, by the rising sun, by the setting sun, by hunger, by fatigue, by seasons.
Perhaps that's why people often feel happiest while camping in nature. No schedules, no notifications, no alarms, just sunrise and sunset. For a brief moment, the modern world disappears, and something ancient returns. The truth is that humans didn't evolve to follow clocks. Clocks evolved to control humans. And every time you glance at your phone to check the hour, you're participating in one of the most successful inventions in history. An invention so powerful that most of us can no longer imagine life without it. Yet for almost all of human existence, nobody knew what time it was. And somehow, they were never late.